Okay, so this session is all about an intro to VLOOKUP. A VLOOKUP can be extremely helpful when you want to get information or be able to search for information in one place. So it's a very, very helpful tool. If you also want to look for information in multiple Excel files, you can do that too. When you were talking or when you were doing long-term storage, there's a video series that Ike did where he decides what's going to be pulled for long-term storage, and he uses a VLOOKUP to combine multiple pieces of data from several different Amazon reports. So it can be some very good information to have. Now I'm just going to show you how to do the basic one sheet VLOOKUP, and then hopefully we will build off of that next time. So I put a link to a website on here, and they kind of go into great detail on how to do a VLOOKUP. I'm going to try to simplify it as much as possible so that you guys understand it. It's a function in Excel. So you basically use a VLOOKUP as a directory to find information. So if you need to find information in an Excel file, you can use a VLOOKUP to do that. And I'm going to show you an example in just a second. So it's all about the syntax. Now, syntax has to do with word order and how you put information in. So the syntax for a VLOOKUP is you do equal signs, VLOOKUP, parentheses, the value that you want to search. So what information are you trying to search for? Then the range to be searched, separated by a colon, comma, the column you want the info pulled from, comma, and then false, which equals an exact match. So I've gone through that. That was in a different language, so let me explain it to you. All right, so I have this VLOOKUP file. It came from that website that I put at the bottom of your sheet, so very helpful. So if you want to play around with it, the file is there. You just have to download it. So what I'm going to do is I am trying to find the salary for these people without scrolling through and being like, okay, Matt Baker's salary is this much, so-and-so's salary is this much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a VLOOKUP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the VLOOKUP document next to it. Okay. So it's, as I was saying, it's all about the syntax for this lookup. So I'm going to do equals VLOOKUP and then parentheses, and the first thing that is asking me is the lookup value. So I'm trying to find what the name is, so I'm going to put F2 because it's in cell F2. Does that make sense? Yep. Yep. So when I take out the name, it is all, and put in a new name, it's automatically going to tell me what their salary is. So I do a comma, then it's asking me for the information to be searched. Okay? So the information to be searched is I'm searching all of the names and the salaries. Okay, does that make sense so far? Okay, so I have the information that I want to find out, which is the name, so I can get their salary, and then the data that I'm looking through. So I'm looking through the names and the salaries, comma. Then it's going to ask me for the column number of the information that I want. So I'm looking for the salary. So the salary is in the third column. Do you see that? Okay, so I'm going to put 3. Then it's going to ask me true or false. But it's a number. Yep. Column index number. And if we go back over here, it's the column you want info pulled from, okay? Then it's gonna say true or false. So based off of this information, do you want a true results, which are approximate, or do you want false, which is exact? It makes no sense. You would think they would be switched, but that's what it is. So if you want exact numbers, then you would do false. If you want approximate, you would do true, okay? So I want the exact number, so I'm going to put in here false. And it worked. So if I go to Sanford Bartlow, his salary is $81,603. If I type in Tom then it's going to tell me that his is $70,988. Okay. So that's how you would do a VLOOKUP. We're just, once again, just basic VLOOKUP. So it's all about the syntax. So the value that you wanted to search, which was the name, so that's F2. The range to be searched separated by a colon, which was all of this information here. So if I was going to do this manually, I would say A2 and C55 separated by a colon. Then I would do a comma, and then the column that I want the information pulled from, which is column 3. Now, if this data was moved over a little bit, it would still be in column 3 because of the information that I'm looking for is located in column 3. And then false, because I want it to be the exact number. So yeah, so if I say had this, if I had it over here, it would still be in the third column, even though it's not technically the third column from A. Does that make sense? Okay, so that would be how you would do just a basic VLOOKUP, okay? So before you run, I want you to be able to crawl. So if you want to play around with this yourself, you can go to this website right here and download this file and put in the VLOOKUP. Now, in the example way down at the bottom, it does give you the formula, but I want you to try to challenge yourself to be able to do it yourself. Or if you have your own Excel document, if you want to play around with it and find out the information, like say you have a list of ASINs and you want to know what the buy cost is or what the ROI is, you can do a VLOOKUP to find that information this way. So I just want you guys to get familiar with just a one document VLOOKUP, and then we're going to graduate to a multi-document VLOOKUP. Okay? All right, are there any questions before I end this one? Yeah, multi-document, yeah. Yeah. But if you feel comfortable with one document, it's not that much of a departure with two.